Hi, the engineer whisperer here. Do you know what the biggest value of a transition plan is? Knowing that you can have a transition plan. Yes, it's that simple. Today, I want to bust the myth that most people think that a transition plan is for changes that will happen to you in the future. Yes, there are benefits in knowing that a change happens to you and having the time and the resources to create a transition plan for that change. But transition plans can also happen for things and changes that happened to you in the past, or maybe for things and changes that are happening to you right now. Yes. Why is that? Because it's so powerful to know that you have a choice to say yes or no to people, to situations, and to things, or that you have a choice to ask for time, ask for support, ask for clarity, ask for information. I remember one of the things that I learned the hard way is the first time I was pregnant and I was giving birth, I didn't know that I can say no, refuse service that was offered by the medical staff, nurses, and doctors. I let others make decisions for me, and now I'm living the results that they have given me. With my second pregnancy, I created a plan, and it was so powerful knowing that I can take my time to make the best decision for me, for my body, and for my daughter. And I can consider the things that the medical staff were offering to me. So this is what I'm talking about. And why is this important? Because most of the times, 90% of the times, we are not aware of a change that will happen to us. That happened to us. If you look back, how many of the changes that happened to you were you aware upfront? Well, that's life. And what happens to us when a change literally hits us and we're surprised? Well, when we are surprised, we get scared. That's the first feeling. And then we become risk averse. We slow down and we are afraid of making decisions. And in this situation, in this state of mind, we slow down progress. And why is that? Because we are trying to understand first this new situation that we're in. And I'm thinking about now the positive changes and the negative changes that happen to us. Getting a new job, then moving to a new city, a new country, one would say that's a positive change, but one might experience some negative emotions with that. In the same way with some negative changes, that we might experience positive changes. So why is that? Because as we're going through a change, we're trying to understand this new encounter, this new experience, new situation that we never encountered before. Just the new processes, the new language. We might have heard about it and have people in our lives that went through it, but when it happens to us, it will be a new experience. What else? We are trying to navigate through it. We are trying to know who to ask, who to trust, what to ask, how to make a decision, what is the right decision, when to make a decision, what consequences to avoid. All this is going through in our mind because we are risk averse, because we are afraid, because we have never been in this situation before. And the third one that happens to us when we go through a change is that we are trying to understand and navigate through our internal emotions. This is when you might have encountered yourself or seen someone becoming more emotional, a man being labeled, you're emotional, a woman being labeled, you're too emotional. I know from my experience when my house got broken into and I was back at work and I was telling it to a really good friend, a coworker of mine, what happened. He was curious. I was retelling the situation and my experience. I just started crying. And I don't remember to this day why I was crying, but I clearly remember that I couldn't stop myself from crying. For a minute and a half, I was just bawling in front of this coworker. He didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Why is that? Because internally we are going through some real chaos in wilderness. Our emotions either become more powerful, even if you have experienced anxiety or overwhelm before, this time you're gonna experience it more. It's gonna be more uncontrollable. It's gonna be a new set of experiences at a level that you have never experienced it before. And why is this important? Because most of us, what we do, the result of all this understanding the situation, of navigating through the process, and then understanding and navigating your internal emotions, we result in being discouraged. We're probably going to give up and then conclude that there's something wrong with me. Maybe this already happened to you. If not, think about a friend or someone that this happened to. So, what do people do in this situation when the change is so much that they blame themselves and judge themselves for not being able to get through it? Well, two choices. You either escape and abandon the situation, and you might have heard stories where people just give up. They don't finish something, they return home, a situation that someone would have really liked to be in, somebody has given up, rejected, and turned their back to. And the second choice that we do is we compromise. We compromise the change and we lose the opportunity to become what this situation might have forged us to become too. There's so many examples of people who are grateful for losing a limb, for being bitten by a shark, for being in horrible car accidents, for having an illness and going through them. You might know some of these people. I know I do. I have friends. Why is that? Well, because when you are going through a transition, you are going through three phases. The first one is you understand that you have to let go of your former life and identity. You have to say goodbye to who you were and what you were before the change happened to you. And then you're going to enter this chaos, this unknown environment where, honestly, what got people through it is the decision that I am going to make it through, that I am going to figure it out. So that mental toughness happens in this space when you are navigating the unknown, the external and the internal unknown, in order to then decide that when you begin your new life and your new identity, you have a choice to choose who you want to be, who you want to become as you navigate through the transition. Because change is situational and it's focused on an outcome. Transitions are psychological. It is about letting go of something and starting something new. But in the middle is that middle part where you navigate the unknown. So, again, what is the biggest benefit of having a transition plan? Is knowing that you can make a plan, knowing that you can say yes or no to people, to situations, and to things, that you can ask for time. Did you know that it's okay to ask for 24 hours to consider a job offer? Not to say yes or no or to reject it. It's to just sit with it, to reread it, to see if maybe something's missing. Somebody made a typo. Somebody forgot to include something that you have previously agreed to. It is okay to ask for time. It is okay to ask for support, for second opinion, and for more information. Knowing this, I invite you to consider creating a plan. And of course, if you need help, reach out because I'm here for you. But try to make your own. Try to consider making one if you're going through a change, if you have experienced a change that you haven't processed through psychologically yet. It's never too late and you can do it. Thanks for listening.